Hello, and thanks for tuning in to the Voices of the Learning Network podcast. This is actually the final episode of this particular season, but fear not, listeners, we'll be back again very soon. In this episode, I'm going to chat with David Hayden, who has a background in L&D, organizational design and development, recruitment, and lean engineering, spanning more years than he feels it should be. David has seen his profession move from traditional training functions to multi-digital approaches to learning and development. David is passionate about how L&D addresses impact and transfers of learning and is getting better at the data we are privileged to get as L&D practitioners. David has contributed to CIPD content on L&D, including podcasts, research, reports, fact sheets, and member learning resources. He was employed by the CIPD for just shy of 10 years from 2014. He's also the author of a couple of books, along with some other people, and those are Adjacent Learning with Steve George and Learning and Development Practices in the Workplace with Kathy Beavers and Andrew Ray. And last year, he released the latest edition of L&D Practice in the Workplace with Kathy Beavers. An occasional blogger, David is currently working on his blue sky strategy. David can be seen most Saturday mornings, apparently, doing a park run somewhere in the world. David Hayden, my friend, it's lovely to chat to you today. Thank you very much for joining me on the Voices of the Learning Network podcast. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, Bill. Thanks for asking me along. Good to see you too.
So you've been a member of the Learning Network for a while now, sort of since the tail end of the worst of the pandemic.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about your experiences of the network as a member, if you don't mind.
Okay, cool. So I think the highlight of the Learning Network year has got to be the Connect conference, and been to a couple of them and just blown away really by the inclusivity of the Connect conferences, and just the positive vibe there is not only at the conference but also online as well. There's a lot of love online and a lot of kind of people who are kind of expressing the fear of missing out when they're not there. And yeah, it's unlike other conferences where there's sometimes a bit of it's the same old. The Connect conference seems to bring something unique and speak to the bulk of the members in a really good way. So yeah, I've taken away some really good stuff from past conferences.
So I told the listeners a bit about you in the intro a moment ago, and beyond that, we're going to learn more about you, I think, through some of the questions that I'm going to ask you shortly. But why is the Learning Network useful to a practitioner such as yourself?
It kind of does what it says on the tin, doesn't it? It's the Learning Network for learning. Look, the opportunity to connect with other people across the whole spectrum of learning and development is really important. And sort of like, I think for someone who's been around the block quite a while like myself, just viewing things through the eyes of new people is really, really important. It's like reminding ourselves what it was like on day one, reminding ourselves what it was like when we were kind of finding out some stuff that we might be a bit dismissive of now, kind of at this stage in our career. I think it's really important to be reminded that people coming into the profession, kind of that enthusiasm, and don't let us be the ones to kind of kick that enthusiasm into touch. So I think I love seeing the profession through the lens of the whole spectrum of people who are members, and I think the opportunity around mentoring is one of the things that is really, really valuable for anyone joining the network.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. You and I have a hard stop for recording this in only 10 minutes, which is on me because you kindly let me start a little bit later. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch up the usual format for this pod, okay? And instead, I'm going to throw a bunch of, because I want to get through a bunch with you. I'm going to throw a
Yeah.
bunch of questions at you in rapid
Cool.
fire
Cool.
format.
Right.
So I'm going to do things like in 60 seconds or less
Cool.
answer
Yes.
following. But the first question I've got for you, I think, deserves 90 seconds. So in 90 seconds or less, David, you recently appeared in a video about CPD, continuing
Yeah.
professional development. Tell us a bit about it and what prompted you to get involved.
Okay, so I for the past couple of years I have been on the audit panel for the CIPD, Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development, where they've got a remit to periodically check in and do a bit of a light touch audit on people's CPD. I've been involved in that for the past couple of years, and it's just a really kind of humbling part of my role in terms of seeing other people's experiences. So the CIPD asked a bunch of us who were involved with the audit to kind of share why CPD was important for us. So there's a video doing the rounds on LinkedIn and other platforms with me and a couple of other people, really kind of shouting the benefits of CPD for the profession.
Oh, seconds to spare,
Yeah, yeah.
David. Seconds to spare. Good work. So, okay, I guess in 60 seconds or less, what have you recently done to make sure you role model CPD?
Oh, right. Okay. So I I recently did a piece of work in Yerevan, Armenia, and I was so out of my comfort zone. But it's having that reset to actually, I'm out of my comfort zone, but I'm learning something here. What is it? How's this helping my practice? And not kind of necessarily having a hissy fit that everything wasn't as I planned it. That it kind of taken a direction that I didn't expect it to take, but rolling with it, trusting the process, and remembering that the context for the client is the most important thing, not necessarily what I'd prepared. So yeah, that I think that was the biggest thing in a live environment, reminding myself about context.
So, recognizing where you fit in, what
Mm,
um, the learning patterns and desires are of those that you're
yeah.
working with.
Yes.
I wonder, where would you wave your L&D magic wand
Oh,
if
right.
it were such a thing?
Yes. So one of the things there are some great people out there, so like um, sharing stuff on LinkedIn and other platforms. But there's some people sharing stuff who really kind of pull L&D down and say L&D shouldn't be doing this, and why is L&D doing this, and it's outrageous L&D are doing that, and it's like, just stop for a minute and just you talk about. I talked about context earlier. It's like, put yourself in the person you're slagging off's context, and kind of remember we're working learning, and kind of why not apply the learning principles to help the profession get better, not slag the profession off. So my magic wand would be to stop people slagging L&D off and share in a way that we can get better in a more engaging way.
Okay, I'm going to have a bit of fun with you now. My
Yeah.
next question is a mega question.
All right.
So, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get you to try and answer it in 30 seconds or
All
less,
right.
or
Okay.
maybe with
Wow. Wow.
one word, one sentence. I don't know.
Right.
Give us something pretty special, a tiny little soundbite
Yeah.
teaser that we can take away. Here's the big old question. What have you got for us? You've obviously had a long career within and adjacent to L&D, David. What do you think is next for the profession?
Oh man, so like I could talk for hours on this, but look, the end of training, the end of learning has been predicted for ages. I remember CD-ROMs coming in, and that was it. Right, okay, as a trainer, we're never gonna have trainers because we can just put you in front of a CD-ROM back in the late 90s. So I think what is around the corner for learning, lots of change, but change we can roll with.
And I love that you managed to get a CD-ROM reference in there. I'm old enough that I remember them as well. Okay, so I just want to give a little nod to the latest edition of L&D Practices, Practice in the Workplace.
Thank you. Yeah.
It was only released, well, fairly recently. I think it was towards
Yeah,
the end of
November last year.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just briefly, with the array of L&D books on the
Yeah.
market at the moment, why is that a useful one, David? What are you proud of?
Oh, what am I proud of? So so it's aligned to the CIPD level 5 qualification. But what I'm really proud of is the way we reached out to a number of practitioners, and they generously shared their stories, their insights into how they're shaping the profession for the context of their clients, their organizations. Yeah, so I'm really proud of the generosity of the people we asked, but also yeah, both Kathy and I were writing it at a time where we were both having some challenges in our personal lives. So Kathy Beaver's the co-author, and myself both had some challenges. So the fact we got it out there on the market, yeah, there's a lot of stories behind it actually being out there. Yeah, so
We are flying through this. We've got about 2 minutes left. What about
cool.
that? Ample room.
Yeah,
So I'm just going to take a deep breath there and just say,
yeah.
just share a little bit of my experiences with the listeners about David. David's just an absolute gent. I just think he's a terribly lovely person. He's doing great work in the space. I enjoy every time that I have a conversation with him. I keep promising him we're going to get him on stage soon at one of my disrupt events, and we're going to make that happen. There we go. A promise on the pod today that's going to happen, David. Before we wrap up, though, how can folks learn for themselves what a nice man you are? How can they connect with you? How can they learn more about what you're getting up to at the
Okay,
moment?
you can find me on LinkedIn, and very soon can find me on talentdelivers.co.uk. That'll be out in the wild after Easter. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Well, this episode's probably going to land after Easter, which means it's already live, and you can check it out. There
Hey,
we go.
brilliant! No pressure there.
That just leaves me to say for today, David, lovely to catch up with you. Thank you very much for your time.
And you, Bill. Thank you for your lovely words too. Thank you. Good to be part of this.